as we march into the future, it's important that my place at the football club is almost demanded and needed. If it's time for change, we just all need to make that decision together.
Do you want to stay?
Oh, absolutely. I've still got a lot of energy, you know, and it is my 10th year and one more year on paper. The other thing is I could do something wrong, you know, and I need to go, and the board sacks me. But, you know, I don't believe I'll ever lose a playing list or a playing group. I just don't think the third thing will ever happen. While we're trying to get there, sometimes we're going to go through some testing times, but there's change afoot. We're really healthy and it's a great environment, and we just feel like we can really gain some momentum.
And momentum they did gain. The Ashley and Martin turning point of the Bulldogs season. They were the most compelling words we've had spoken by a coach at this desk this season as it unfolded, and they were matched by the actions. Luke Beveridge, the Bulldogs coach, is with us again. Luke, it's always great to have you with us on 360. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Jared and Robbo.
Every season has its own journey, and this does give a moment for pause. You reached the early Waterloo at the hands of Hawthorn. Have you had a bit of a think across the course of the season while you've been plotting and scheming for what's to come next?
Yeah, it's been a lot of reflection and reflection points, there's no doubt about it. And when the Hawks beat us, unbeknownst to many, they were about to get on the march themselves, and they've been a great story of inspiration and growth this year, the Hawks, and so, you know, any time we were sat on our backsides, it was a good opportunity for us to work through some challenges. And you know, I'm really proud of how the players and all our staff really came together and worked really diligently and at times courageously with a really firm resolve and belief in what we're about. And I think, you know, we get to the end of the year and, you know, we're number one on defensive aggregate and number two for scores for. It kind of, you know, franks what we thought we might be able to do if we got our assembly right. And you know, we go into this Friday night with some momentum.
Bevo, there was a video put out on after the game against Ballarat where you spoke to the players, and it's not often that we see an exuberant Luke Beveridge, and you swore and congratulated him, and the players responded en masse. And I just heard you say to us during the year, "Hey, I don't think I'll ever lose the players." Right now, did you ever think there was a chance that you were? And then leading up to that last game and that response, do you feel you've just totally and utterly got this group?
Oh, my commitment's always been true to myself, Robbo, and live 2 or 3 throwaways. And one of the really firm ones is I put the person before the player. It's whether you're a manager in industry and you care about the people you work for and you're the best for them, but you're also willing to work well for the organisation, or whether it's being the coach of an AFL club and you want people to grow and be conscientious and be good people, but you know, you also want them to play good footy, and so I treat our people with an enormous amount of respect and care, and so I don't think that there will ever be a point where people question that, and so if you finish and you live and die by that kind of motto, I'm okay with it. And it was unsettling, there's no doubt, at different stages early in the season because of the external noise, but it doesn't. None of us wavered in our commitment to each other. So, yeah, I think that outpouring of emotion after the game in Ballarat, I kind of had to do it. You know, it was a great milestone in our year. The previous year, we weren't in control of our own destiny. We'd faltered at different times. And this year we had the opportunity to win that last game and not even have to worry about the next 2 games and the results. And so I was just so pleased for everyone that the players were able to go out and do what they did.
I love the access. I think all football supporters would love the access. Listening to a coach talk to his players, I was really, really touched. When you spoke about dreaming big, you said this is it. It's time for dreams. And if we know you as a coach, Bevo, you're a storyteller. You're a dreamer. When do you decide on the storyline leading into this week? Has that already been decided? What's today? Tuesday. I'm sure it has. When did you decide what the storyline was going to be in your dream making this week?
Well, your own story starts way back when you restart at the start of the pre-season, and I plan that way, and you do put certain things in place and do initiate different themes, and you hope at the end of the year that that can all come back to roost and you can make something of it, because it sort of heightens your sense of emotion around each other for a start, and then it becomes this sort of you don't necessarily reach critical mass until you might make the end of it all, but you become your own inspiration, and our players quite inspiring to each other and our supporters, and so there's some internal symbolism and mottos and theming and things that the players have leveraged off over the journey, things that test you when it comes to your commitment and your integrity, and our players have just shone through, and so as we go into Friday night, we all have to be honest. There's a sense of nervousness and a great sense of anticipation because of what might be gained, but what could be lost. And we don't try and dodge that, but we do build up the connection and the fact that we've got to this point through a great spirit within the group and our people who support our players.
Twice you've orchestrated a team from outside the top four to make the grand final, Luke. You're not trying to recreate history, but what do you draw on from the past, knowing that it can be done, it has been done, and you've done it?
Yeah, there's always a commonality, Jared, in my time as a coach, whether it's back when I took on the challenge at St Bede's or St Bede's Mentone or with the Dogs now. It is definitely making sure that you just focus on the now and what's in front. But it's okay for your thought process and your emotions to wander a little bit. And so, quite simply, when you compare what your opportunity might be if you finish up a bit higher and if you finish in the bottom four, you might have to play one more game. You got to win 4 in a row, but the task for the top four side is still quite significant. You still got to win 3, so it's not a lot different when you think of it like that, is it?
No.
It's about the players, and we'll talk about them in 1 second, Luke. But your relationship with your opponent, Sam Mitchell, you were at Hawthorn 13, 14, 15. You coached Sam. Can you describe the relationship you built up then, and has it survived and thrived since then, or has life taken you apart?
Yeah, I have a deep affection for Sam, Robbo. I was fortunate enough to spend some time with him, in the 3 years I was at Hawthorn, and Sam was an All-Australian halfback during that period and nothing to do with my coaching, as I said off air, he was telling me what to do. But he is so forthright in his leadership and obviously a great player, with limitations, but unbelievable strengths. And so now he's been through, some really challenging times to now build the momentum and the growth in the group with his staff and his players. They've been inspirational on their own terms, and I did send him a message today, and we'll shake hands after the anthem. And I said to him, I wish you all the best, but that's really beyond Friday night if you happen to go on, because I don't wish you the best at all on Friday night. Let's be honest with it. But he's done an enormous job, and I'm wrapped from. We sat together at the awards night the other night, and I'm glad. I'm so happy for him that they're going well.
We asked Sam just before about the threat of your point of difference, which is your your key forwards. I'm not saying that's your whole game, Luke, but that's a real weapon for you, and that's going to worry the opposition. Reverse that, I would suspect that their small forward brigade, there's about 5 or 6 of them, they're probably giving you cause of plenty of thinking. Is that a fair enough comment?
Yeah, they've been impressive, their small forwards, and they, as you said, they've provided significant headaches for everyone they've played, and we know that's going to be a challenge. They get up and back. They're a bit like GWS when they've got their full quota in as well, which we didn't necessarily face last week with Bedford and Daniels being out. So we respect that. We, as an 18 on the field, we're going to need to make sure we get certain things right. But I suppose with both their small forwards and our key forwards, there is a degree of youth, and sometimes it can be your Achilles heel. You know, these experiences are new, and some of our dips in games this year, you pointed towards different things, but now the magnitude of an elimination final in front of hopefully 90-odd thousand. What an occasion for some of the younger guys on both teams, and also the more experienced guys to live through.
What an occasion indeed. Luke, thanks for priming us for it. The very best of luck come Friday night.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Robbo.
Thanks,
Good
Luke.
on you. Luke Beveridge, the Bulldogs coach. What about that? The balance between what might be gained and what could be lost.